Reggie changed it in the movie. He told you that the movie was just the Hollywood effect. They do what they do to sell what you call it.
Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice. I won't say it again. There's only two people names will change. Reggie right name wouldn't change.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we finally get to hear Porky speak on something we've all been waiting for. His explanation for why his name was changed in Greg Kading's movie. As expected, Porky plays it off like he has no idea what's going on, acting completely oblivious. The person sitting next to him on that very panel is none other than Reggie Wright, the same Reggie who originally pointed out that Porky's name was changed in the film. Reggie made it crystal clear that his name, Reggie Wright, wasn't changed. That small detail speaks volumes, because Reggie's implying that the only names that were changed in the movie were the ones tied to cooperation, Stutterbox, and CS2 Back. You can read between the lines. The suggestion is clear. Names were only altered to protect informants. Salute to Reggie for even asking Porky this question. Now watch closely as Porky tries to spin it, dancing around the truth, downplaying the implication, and pretending like it's all some big misunderstanding. Keep your ears open. This part says more than he thinks.
Gene changed his name in the movie. Okay. Yeah.
It was Gene.
No, I know it. He said Greg, but I said Greg, but I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question.
Reggie is saying he doesn't want to ask him that question, because he's the one who told us Porky's name was changed in the first place. Reggie said he didn't want to ask that question. But trust me, if he didn't want to ask it, he wouldn't have asked it. This is how you know Reggie has had enough of good old Porky.
Who name?
He said, Greg, why did Greg change your name in the movie is what he's asking. He don't know.
They changed everybody's name in the movie.
He don't know.
They changed everybody's name in the movie.
He don't know.
They changed everybody's name in the movie.
Did you see the confused look on Porky's face? Like he had no clue what was going on? Watch how Reggie just sits there and lets him lie and look stupid before finally coming in and correcting him.
Nigga, the dude that played Uncle Jerome, who pulled up in the Rolls Royce at the donut shop, is Stutterbox in real life.
Stutterbox.
They call him Stutterbox.
Yeah.
They changed everybody motherfucking name in the movie.
Whenever Porky finds himself in a pickle, the first thing he does is scream Stutterbox. Crazy part about that is there were only two people's names that were changed, Porky's and Stutterbox. How convenient for Porky to perfectly call out the one other person whose name was changed. Teresa Swan's name being changed from Tammy Hawkins isn't quite the same, because sometimes she actually goes by that name. That's the name Greg Kading used when he was speaking about her on Vlad TV. But Stutterbox has never, ever went by the name Percy Locke. And Porky has never went by the name Alonzo Zoe Scott.
But again, you don't see me doing nothing but driving the truck, nigga. Standing in the back of the truck telling them, and really they was straight stud magazines. That's what it was. Me and K Slay had the magazine together. Like, the magazines, bro, what you looking for? I don't know.
They changed some people's name and then they didn't change some. But to Wack's point is he had nothing on that case.
Reggie is trying to help Porky get out of the trap that he himself set for him, but to no avail. Stutterbox told Greg Kading that Porky had weapons in his home, which makes sense now, being that Porky has went online bragging about selling guns to Crips so they can kill each other.
Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess who they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Pick you all up. Whack. Crip nigga gotta come see me. Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess who they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Pick you all up. Whack. Crip nigga gotta come see me. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they go to war with each other, so I don't fuck them bitches kill each other all day long. You know what I'm saying? I'd be crip on crip shit.
He's even claimed to have supplied entire neighborhoods.
They know who they is.
So you giving Keyways guns?
Always, yeah, nigga. What his whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with. What his whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with. What his whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with. And what? So what that mean?
So when law enforcement showed up at his house with a search warrant, looking specifically for firearms, and actually found them, suddenly, Box's tip doesn't seem so far-fetched. What makes this even more damning is the timing. Porky was already in the middle of fighting a felon in possession case in Texas, one that was later dismissed in the interest of justice, a phrase often used when someone has offered their cooperation in return. But at the time of the raid, he was still vulnerable, and the feds were looking for exactly that: leverage. They wanted something solid to hold over his head, something they could use to get him to flip on Marion Knight. And finding illegal firearms in the home of a convicted felon fighting a gun charge, that's exactly the kind of pressure they needed. That's why he was arrested.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
It wasn't random, and it wasn't about living above his means, like Porky once claimed. It was a calculated move by the feds, designed to tighten the screws just enough to make him talk.
He found the tracker.
I was a person of interest.
Yeah.
I wasn't a...
because the person y'all should be mad at that, about that, on that, it should be Stutterbox, the guy you be up here defending, L.A.
Reggie said I'm always defending Stutterbox. When did I do that? It's clear that just like Dupree and Kading, Reggie hates Stutterbox and protects Porky.
The guy you always defending is the one that lied on the man.
Tell L.A. send his number, and I'll call him with Stutterbox on the phone, and Stutterbox will tell him.
You guys imagine me giving the federal informant CS back my phone number so he can call me on his wiretap hotline with Stutterbox on three-way, just to tell me what I already know.
Y'all though, Box, help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro? Yo.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm
what is he saying I had to do with the case? Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided. My truck got
in the paperwork, Wack, listen, in the paperwork it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork it said you tried to call dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take your call. And I couldn't tell you. And he said
I talked to dogs.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call.
Wait. And I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
But they said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you. In the paperwork.
So Box just told Porky that in the paperwork it says that he tried to call Del Dog, and Del Dog did not want to talk to him. When you read the paperwork, the person that Del Dog did not want to talk to was a guy named Back, who was labeled as confidential source number 2 in the paperwork. Not only that, but in the paperwork, it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him. Not only that, but in the paperwork it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him if it was okay to give back his number. So Stutterbox is telling Porky directly that he is CS2 back. Why do I need to give Porky my number to tell me anything, when I just heard what Stutterbox told him directly?
Yeah. It's LA scandalous. That's what it is. You know, they build their channel. They won't have a channel if they're not talking about me or you. Yeah. But I'm just addressing them, giving them the opportunity, to address their questions, because they'll never get us on their channel, But I try to get it, just to be transparent, because we don't give a fuck.
I only know.
While Reggie was saying all that, Porky was still trying to find a way to wiggle out of the box that Reggie put him in. Listen to his next failed attempt.
I knew the Poochie character. The Suge, Biggie, Puffy characters. The Stutterbox character.
They changed Stutterbox, Teresa's. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker.
Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice. I won't say it again. There's only 2 people names will change. Reggie right name wouldn't change.
What about the cop dude who was fucking with Suge's wife or something?
Oh,
Is that
Kevin?
his real name?
Kevin Gaines, yeah, that's his real name.
Yeah.
Porky is over here searching for anybody else whose name might have been changed. I think he's finally beginning to understand that the movie he said he's watched over 1 million times was really the beginning of his demise. Now let's watch Porky go to his favorite deflect whenever the movie gets brought up.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did it. All you gotta do is look at it. Nigga, the truck driver played no...
Yeah, everybody knew it was supposedly you, so they just trying to be,
But you know how they knew that, Reg? I told them.
Yeah.
I'm the one told
Gotcha.
them. They only know about the movie because I told them.
Got you.
I told them, go look in the book. Now in the book, they didn't change my fucking name.
There it is, folks. Like clockwork. Every time you bring up the movie, Porky immediately tries to pivot to the book. The same book where Greg Kading went out of his way to paint Porky as some kind of hero. The same guy who's openly admitted to selling guns to entire neighborhoods. The same guy who bragged about putting weapons in the hands of Crips so they could kill each other. Yet somehow, in Kading's book, Porky is portrayed like a model citizen. Go figure. But let's not let him off the hook that easy. Let's stay with the movie. Specifically, let's talk about that truck scene Porky claimed he told us about. You know the one.
Jim and I have been tracking our trucker. He's made several trips to San Diego.
Which is on the border with Mexico if geography isn't your strong suit.
These same Mexico, our informant claimed Sugar's running kilos of cocaine through.
That's something. That's not enough.
Well, there's something else.
Every Tuesday at 2, Zoe makes a stop off his route.
We checked the address, but it's a vacant lot.
Sound like a meetup spot.
That's what we were thinking. He could be dropping something off, picking something up. Hard to tell.
What's his location?
Legal officer. Just a little side hustle I got going.
Okay, what's your primary home?
Construction equipment from here to San Diego. Y'all can take a few if you want.
We're good. Can't make this shit up. There's no way he's running drugs for Suge.
That's the same scene Porky told all of us about. But what he didn't say, and what the writers of Greg Kading's movie conveniently left out, was the fact that while Porky was being pulled over on the road, federal agents were simultaneously raiding his house. They had a search warrant specifically looking for weapons, and they found them. But in the movie, they make it look like it was no big deal. Like Porky got pulled over, they didn't find any drugs, so they just let him go on his way. Clean and simple. But that's not the truth. It's a polished-up version of events designed to make him look like he walked away unscathed, untouched. And this is exactly why Stutterbox said the entire movie was a lie. Because the real story, the one left out of the script, is that Porky was a felon already fighting a gun case in Texas, and the raid on his home turned up more illegal firearms. That's not something they could just sweep under the rug, unless, of course, someone had a reason to protect him. So when you rewatch that scene, don't just focus on what they showed you. Pay attention to what they didn't. That's where the truth is hiding.
Okay.
You go pull the book up, you go to the murder rap, you go to the chapter stutter box, you see my pictures of my 30th birthday party, you see my name, real name, you see stutter box real name, where they saying stutter box put them on me. They followed me for 9 months, only to find that I run a string of small businesses. They was doing nothing illegal. Go pull up the book called Murder Rap, go to the chapter stutter box. You'll see my real name, my real face, pictures, Stutterbox name, Suge name, pictures of me and Suge. But see, they're not going to go do that. You know why? Because it debunks the bullshit they say.
Exactly.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
So your Texas gun case was dismissed by an interest of justice.
So this is what you got to do, right?
Not from a bad search. Why do you lie about that is what he want to know. So go ahead.
What do you mean? Okay, but see, I think what they missing, Reg, was this. I only filed our motion. We stood on our motion. See, just because you strike a motion down, don't mean you walk away from the motion.
But I seen you spend about $30,000, $40,000 fighting this case. I remember you showed me something like that.
$390.
Did you catch that? Porky has been claiming he paid $390,000 for his Texas gun case. But Reggie just called him out, saying it was actually only $30,000. To top it off, Reggie reminded him that he'd already shown him the documentation to prove it.
Okay.
Now, hold on. I'm about to fuck you up, Reg.
Okay.
I had 2 attorneys.
Okay.
I had my point attorney in Cali, which you know who this is, but I never told you it was, because I didn't trust Texas. So I went to my attorney in Cali, and he said, I'm a Jewish guy to Beverly Hills. They'll hang me.
They're not out there.
So what he did was found the top attorney in that area.
Okay.
My attorney here wrote everything. You know who that was, Reggie?
Who?
Jeffrey Brody.
Yeah, Brody. Yeah, I heard you talk about Brody
You know
before.
Jeff, right? Jeffrey Brody was my attorney here. So he wrote up everything and he was sent it there. And then he was a top attorney in that area. So that was like our face. But I trusted it because everything he was doing was by Brody's direction. So the whole time, all we had was one defense, illegal search procedures in the trunk.
Everything Porky is saying is for absolutely nothing. His case was dismissed in the interest of justice, not for illegal search and seizure. Period. We already spoke to the Wheeler County Court Clerk, Debbie Does Dallas McLaughlin, and she let us know exactly what dismissed in the interest of justice entails.
Which was denied.
No, he was dismissed.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about in 2011 or 2010, right?
Yes, 2011, yes.
And that was dismissed in the interest of justice.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what that means.
I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that.
Obviously, it's kind of suspicious. This isn't normal, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective of I done heard motion to dismiss for illegal search and seizure, violations of one's constitutional right. But for me, I'm quite sure if I got caught with a gun, that they wouldn't be telling me they're dismissing me for in the interest of justice unless
Exactly.
Let's make sure we highlight what we've learned in our first 2 segments thus far. First, we found out that Porky was lying when he accused Deuce of adding the word back to the paperwork. Then we found out Porky was lying when he said there was no CS2 back section in the paperwork. and that deuce added that to the paperwork also. After that, Porky lied again and said the paperwork said C.S. Tubac was a low-level drug dealer. That's 3 lies, Porky told us, all surrounding the same paperwork. Here we are today, and we hear Porky lying about his case being dismissed due to an illegal search and seizure. And to add insult to injury, Porky also lied when he said he spent $390,000 to beat the case.
Right? I fought that case for 6 years. Now, Reggie, a lot of these dudes who really ain't fought cases and really been in this system, if you Google the definition of Texas law, when dismissed in the interest of justice, it tells you only one person could exercise this.
Yeah.
The judge.
The judge.
Every time Porky tells us to do something, we do it. And every time it proves him wrong. In Texas, a case involving an informant can be dismissed in the interest of justice by a judge or magistrate, either on their own motion or upon the application of the prosecutor, if they believe it serves the broader goals of justice, according to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. In a felon in possession of a firearm case in Texas, a judge could consider the interest of justice in sentencing, potentially leading to a lighter sentence or dismissal, especially if the defendant is an informant who provided valuable information.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reggie, although the judge struck down the first motion, it didn't stop Brody from refouling, right? Challenging their strike and steadily shoving it down their throat. So you know what the judge did? The judge ain't stupid. If you got an arrested officer, right? Let's say he got 10 arrests where people been sent to the penitentiary, right? And the judge know that what he's looking at, that if it gets to a court higher than him, it'll fuck around and be granted. Because the thing is, how did you get to the trunk? Right?
Yeah, legal search. Yeah.
Nobody's on no parole, probation.
Yeah.
The fucking drug dog never.
Yeah, you don't smell weed or no alcohol.
And
There's no reason.
Dumbass bozo, I ain't never disrespected you. But me and Box, and I talk to Box when he calls me. Box called me this morning. He said, what is Aunt Hefe bozo ass talking about? Talking about you got my Rolls Royce shot up. Wack, my Rolls Royce was already shot up and gone before I even start fucking with you. But these is a lot of niggas who wasn't around. They play like they this, they play like they that. But this 2025. We talked about 20, 25 years ago when shit's going on, right? So let's get back to Texas. So you know what the judge did? He knows this nigga done sat here 6 years. He ain't ran out of money. Most of the times niggas run out of money. I'm on parole, bail where I gotta call in every Thursday. So the judge comes in and says, I'm gonna dismiss this in the interest of justice, right? My file is open. If you Google Texas interest of justice, Reg, you should have our guy Google it. The guy that works with you. Google, John, Google the definition of a dismissal under Texas law interest of justice. And it's gonna tell you when the judge may deem that the evidence is a little shabby or this or that, the judge can step in and say, we're just gonna let the whole case go.
In a felon in possession of a firearm case in Texas, a judge could consider the interest of justice in sentencing, potentially leading to a lighter sentence or dismissal, especially if the defendant is an informant who provided valuable information.
Let's go.
Yeah, and the most important thing, y'all got to understand, Wack allegedly went out there because his brother had just got killed the day before. So, and the guy that allegedly did this was found now guilty. If Wack was working with him, and this is me just talking, I never said this to Wack before. Man. If Wack was working with him like these people want to try to indicate he was doing, trust me, that nigga would have got found guilty.
Reggie knows how to put you on the hot seat, and throw you a bone to avoid detection.
Well, first of all, I was going out there to pick my mother up.
Okay.
But she don't like to fly. Second of all, Aunt Hefe talking about 2 California niggas on the freeway. Hey, dummy, I'm 40 miles from Oklahoma border. My license is Oklahoma.
Oh, in Oklahoma at the time.
That wasn't a red flag, stupid.
You know, when we got onto him, one of the reasons that we kind of believed Stutterbox is that Cash was facing a pretty serious gun case out of I think it was out of Texas or Oklahoma. So his brother had gotten killed. It looked like he was going back out there to kind of retaliate for the murder of his brother. I think his name was Zachary or something like that. So when we're hearing about him and we're like, shit, we can find this guy who's got charges pending where he's got these fucking, assault rifles and he's got an Oklahoma driver's license and all this, we're like, oh, okay, maybe, this guy could be a serious player because of that. And so then when we came up empty-handed, and I don't know whatever happened to his Texas case, to be honest with you. They don't take guns so seriously out there.
Like, I don't know where you come from. You just be talking, but you sound dumb as a motherfucker. And you would never do a one-on-one like this with me, because I'll make you look dumb as fuck. This nigga saying, watch this. Now, this is what's crazy. I gave up the main streets to beat the Texas case.
Well, one thing we know is that some kind of way Porky mysteriously ended up moving across the street from Stutterbox, who just so happened to be a suspect in the Biggie Smalls murder. Porky's name ended up all in Stutterbox's paperwork, as Cash Jones and as C.S. Tubac. The paperwork said C.S. Tubac had given accurate and historical information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crips organization. All of this came after Porky caught his gun case. But Stutterbox said his work against the main streets wasn't enough, and because of that, he said Porky had to give them something clean, so he had to give up Poochie from Compton, saying that Poochie killed Biggie for Marion Knight. This is the amount of work Porky was doing before he ever got next to Big U.
Now, this is where he's an idiot at. We all know, and Stutterbox to tell you, he's the one brought the case on his homies, right?
Stutterbox went in the police station at 3 a.m. in the morning and called and woke up somebody that I deal with from the house at 77th Division.
Hold on.
So he need to stop there, all beat up.
We gonna get off Box.
Okay.
Here's the common sense shit. In order for them, if I'm working 2 entities, right? In order for me to get Texas dropped based upon the main streets, right? That means the main streets gotta get convicted, right? The main streets beat their case, dummy.
Yeah.
So what the fuck would I have done for the main streets and the law to say, I'm gonna give you this, drop this? All the main streets case got dismissed.
Case
so
got
I
dropped.
was saying, I gave them the main streets for Texas when the main streets all beat their case.
Right. Grace Katie, I did 4 years in the face. I did Grace Katie sent me to prison.
Right.
He got on the stand and sent me to prison. Because after the niggas did what they did and Wack knew about what he did, they couldn't take them to jail because they would have had to involve Wack.
Porky keeps throwing Stutterbox's name around as if we don't remember what Box already laid out for us. Box made it clear that for Del Dog to be convicted, Greg Kading would have had to implicate Porky, which would have exposed him as an informant. The paperwork indicated that CS2 Back refused to testify due to fears for both his own life and his family's safety. Because of that, Greg Kading took the stand and revealed that Stutterbox had lied under oath when he denied ever working as an informant. This was the key to setting Del Dog and the main streets free. Kading proved that Stutterbox had perjured himself, and because of that, the main streets weren't convicted. Exposing Porky's role would have forced the authorities to reveal the intel he provided. Since they couldn't use Porky's intel to secure a conviction, Porky was now forced to offer Greg Kading something solid that could actually be used. According to Stutterbox, Porky then backed up Kading's theory that Poochie was the one who killed Biggie Smalls, allegedly under the orders of Marion Knight. This was the very reason they started following Porky in the first place, in hopes that he would flip on Suge.
So Wack had to give him something clean. Wack gave him Poochie from Compton.
Poochie for Fruitown Paru.
He the one killed Poochie. No, Poochie killed Biggie.
Right.
For sure. And Wack knew that inside information. He gave it to Greg Kading. Greg Kading closed his book and made Wack feel like a hero. Greg Kading closed his book and made Wack feel like a hero.
Now it should be clear why Porky is always trying to talk about Greg Kading's book. Whenever you bring up the fact that Kading changed both his and Box's names in his movie, it doesn't take long before Porky interrupts to steer the conversation back to Kading's book. He does this all the time.
Put me in jail because don't know. Hey, put Dog him in jail because it's no Wack under the bus.
Right.
So Wack told Greg Kading to close his book. Poochie from Pyro killed Biggie. And he closed the book and made Wack like a hero.
And is that why he said,
He owed him a favor.
exactly.
Y'all don't run shit in the street, The feds run this shit. Law enforcement run this shit.
Man, I remember you, man. Reggie Wright and Wack100, can you please explain to these goofballs the Dale Dog case was a state case, not federal? Correct.
Dale Dog was a state case involving all main streets.
The reason Porky emphasizes all main streets, the way he just did, is because he's trying to distance himself from the speculation. Porky wants people to believe that only main streets were involved in this case. And by making it clear that he wasn't directly from Main Street, he's attempting to convince people that he couldn't have been involved. A typical tactic of Porky's used to deflect attention and create a narrative that separates him from any direct ties.
Yes.
Right? Some other shit they threw me in that I was never arrested, never had nothing to do with. One Main Street took the stand on 7 or 8 main streets. All you got to do is go pull the work up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was a state case held in CCB court. Well, I'm going to keep it real. Dude, when it took the stand in front of the whole LA, the whole court with streetmen and Muslims, dude walked in that motherfucker, took the stand in front of everybody for about 4-5 months and walked out and jumped in his Rolls Royce and drove off.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
I remember Captain Will. You know Captain Will, FOI.
Yeah.
Brother Will.
Yeah.
Brother Will called me and was like, yo, Wax, can you talk to him? I said, bro, talk to him about what? He's fully aware of what he's doing. He's doing it in front of y'all.
Yeah.
What you want me to tell you?
Could you explain his relationship? I know the answer to this, but a lot of people get him mixed up and calls him Farrakhan's nephew. Could you explain their relationship?
That is Farrakhan's nephew. That's not a lie.
That's by the sister, right? I'm saying I know that. I'm just want you.
No, his dad's, his father's sister.
Yeah, something about a sister I know. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, his father's sister is Farrakhan's wife. That's not a lie. That's true.
Scandalous Los Angeles. So you asking me to he told you, I'll get you and your boyfriend on the phone. You know who I call your boyfriend. And we'll call him. And he said he'll get you on the phone with Mark Stevens.
You gotta give Reggie an E for effort, because he sure acts like he's protecting Porky. Reggie and Porky both know we don't have to get on the phone with Mark Stevens or Stutterbox. We have all heard both of their testimonies, and both of them said Porky was CS2 back. I want you guys to listen close to what Porky says next, because he completely switches the narrative that he was running before, which is more proof that he is indeed CS2 back.
Now here
And
it
Mark
goes.
Stevens,
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. If you go read the real paperwork, not the fake shit dude made. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. If you read it, it says CS2 back. If you read it, it says CS2 back.
Do you guys understand what just happened? Porky just told me that I need to go read the real paperwork, not the fake one that Deuce allegedly made. Porky claimed that Deuce created some fake paperwork and put his real name, Cash Jones, in it. But here's where it gets interesting. Porky then starts telling me what the real paperwork says. He says, it says CS2 back. This is Porky, in front of the entire world, admitting that the CS2 back paperwork is authentic, just like Greg Kading said it was. But that's not even the funny part. The real kicker is that after we released the audio of Greg Kading saying Porky was back, Porky accused Deuce of making fake paperwork. However, when he said this, he didn't mention Deuce putting his real name in it. Instead, he claimed Deuce created fake paperwork and just added back to it.
These winning credits some fake work and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about this shit. These winning credits some fake work and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about this shit.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name? If you gonna add some shit and you want to make it believable, just put my real name. Why the fuck would you put something in there that say it sounds like your real name? Like, this is crazy. Dude said, actually, we got the clip. He said, I went and pulled the paperwork myself. Same docket number right here. There is no fucking clause in there with a CS2 back mention. You added that to your paperwork.
Now, fast forward to today. Porky is openly admitting that the real, authentic paperwork actually says CS2 back, which directly contradicts his earlier claims that Deuce added back to it. So now, on Reggie's panel, Porky has completely changed his story, essentially repackaging his lie, which only helps to expose him even further. The contradictions are piling up, and it's becoming clear that Porky can't keep his story straight.
If you read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets. See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right? These winning credits some fake work and add some back shit. Read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets. See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right?
There is no fucking clause in there with a CS2 back mention. You added that to your paperwork.
I really hope you guys can see what's going on here. If you didn't believe Porky was CS2 back before, I hope you believe it now. Initially, Porky claimed that there was no clause in the paperwork mentioning CS2 back, and that Deuce was the one who added that detail. But now, Porky is contradicting himself, saying that the CS2 back paperwork is legit, and that it clearly states CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. This should be enough to prove to the entire world that the CS2 back paperwork is real, and that Porky the Pyru is, in fact, CS2 back. Porky even told me directly to go read the paperwork, and I'd see that it says CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. Now I'm just going to tell you all right now. The paperwork does not say that. Porky is lying again. He's a master at spinning stories, but the truth is clear. He's caught in his own web of lies.
I ain't never had a dope case in my life. And
Yeah.
if I was a dope dealer, best believe I wouldn't have been a low-level dope dealer. And best believe I don't have no family that I gotta worry about that live in the main streets. I'm not from Main Street. My neighborhood is probably about 18 miles from Main Street. 18 to 20 good miles. So if you go read it, but again, you probably a dude from Scandinavia or something who don't understand what you reading. You got to tell yourself, well, it gives a description of who this dude is and what he does in the streets. Does it fit my description?
Yeah.
Porky knows I'm not from Scandinavia. If I was, his empty spin attempts might actually work. So what I do next is I send Porky a $10,000 challenge, asking him to provide proof before all of Reggie's viewers that the paperwork said CS2 Back was a low-level drug dealer. You see, these are the uninterrupted lies Porky has been on Clubhouse telling for years. This is the reason he blocked Deuce on Clubhouse. Porky knows the kind of holes Deuce would poke through his lies. So he avoids him like the bubonic plague.
All right, Scandalous, this is your Reggie. Tell him I challenge him to $10,000 right now. You have to show it and put it in escrow. Everybody always talking about money, but you put it in escrow. And he said, I'll challenge right now on this live show us where is a CS2 was a low-level drug dealer. Ask him that, Reggie. Okay.
Go, this what he got to do, bro. Because the other Deuce M's created a whole fake document where all of a sudden it said Cash Jones. Like, it was crazy.
Okay.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name?
That's why you said the real one when you said it.
All you got to do is go pull it up under Liddell Rawls. That's Dale Dog name.
Okay.
Open that document up under that paperwork, then read it. Fuck with this bullshit they got. You go pull up Liddell Rawls, right? And then read it.
We gonna get into some of these what you call it. I just read one page of the paperwork. I'm gonna read 2 more pages because Scandalous challenged them, and Reggie read it. $10,000 bet that Wack100 can't go through the paperwork and show him where it says that CS2 Back was a low-level drug dealer and a Main Street Crip. See, this is right here is why Scandalous was tricking that, we already tricked him out of 2,000. Scandalous trying to trick him out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
He wants the bag.
Yeah, Scandalous, he tried to bait the niggas so bad. Well, he know he CS2 Back, so he know the Scandalous was too sure of himself. He was too cocky, right? So
Correct.
Reggie read it, Wack listening, and it says CS2 Back. See, what Wack is reading, you see this stuff that's crossed out? Huh?
No, I'm listening to you dudes. You said, repeat that
Look
one more
at-
time for me.
Look at the thing at the screen. You see the paperwork that's crossed out, the part
Yeah, with the
that's-
line at the top in the right hand. Well, it'll be my right top corner with the X going. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, right. So right there, if I blow it all the way up, y'all should be able. No, that's as much as it go. It says CI2, confidential informant 2.
Wow.
Right? And that's the low-level purchaser of crack cocaine, et cetera, right? You got a
Correct.
CI2, and then you got a CS2. So when
Ooh,
his
2
dumb
different
ass
names,
can't
huh?
read no paperwork, you gang goofy from when he was horny for content. You know what I'm saying? You know the nigga don't know how to read no work.
What really happened here is that Porky was spinning. He knows the difference between CS2 and CI2, and he saw that the entire section for CI2 was blacked out with a marker. So why would Porky read the crossed-out section, but completely miss the paragraph underneath it? That just happens to be about CS2 Back. But hey, it's all out in the open now. We're going to go through that paperwork, just like Porky told us to. And it's crazy, because every time we do exactly what Porky says, all we find are more lies from him. and the blame just keeps landing squarely on his shoulders. The truth is coming to light, and Porky's attempts to spin the story only make his lies more obvious.
So we thought we had one. You know what I'm saying? Scandalous try to bamboozle the nigga. The nigga talking about CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer and this and this and this and that, right? No, that's CI2 back. Right?
Right. I'm listening. Yeah.
So CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. In the history of Main Street, and shout out to the Main Streets, they got a lot of legendary niggas over there that was getting to that bag. Richie Rich, all kind of dudes, right? Dale Dog is one of the most known Main Street Mafia Crips that ever done it in South Central LA, right? Just the accomplishments he made coming up off the east side of South Central LA with his whole crew on. Nigga ain't on till my whole crew on, nigga. He did that. But anyway, CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning Main Street Mafia Crip organization. Good luck to Wack talking about he didn't ever snitch on nobody. However, CS2 is only aware of certain aspects regarding the organization's criminal activities and narcotic distribution network. CS2 has no knowledge or information regarding the methods in which narcotics are being transported to the Los Angeles area and distributed to Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Additionally, CS2 is unable to provide information regarding the narcotic customers, flow of narcotic proceeds, and methods that they are using to laundering their narcotic proceeds. CS2 is only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Why would you say that it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer from Main Street Crip when it makes it clear with this definition he's only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members? How you from Main Street, but you can't identify but a few Main Street Mafia Crip members? The nigga ain't from Main Street. That was one of the clues, you goofy ass nigga. Goofologist 101, nigga. CS2 is unable to provide specific information regarding the organization's extortion activities, methods of monetary collections and distribution of proceeds. CS2 is also unable to provide any information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. And we got one more page. So with other leaders of the other large gang organizations, CS2 is able to provide limited information regarding violent assaults committed by Main Street Mafia Crips, including shootings, burglaries, and murders. CS2 is unwilling to testify in court against members of the Main Street Mafia Crip because CS2 is fearful of retaliation against CS2 and or CS2's family. CS2 believes that if any member of the Main Street Mafia Crip criminal organization becomes aware of CS2's cooperation with law enforcement, the organization will likely orchestrate the execution of CS2.
Porky tried to create this narrative that CS2 back was a Main Street Crip, but we've just found out that was a lie. He also tried to push the idea that he wouldn't have to worry about his family being harmed by anyone, because they don't live on Main Street. But the paperwork tells a completely different story. It clearly states that CS2 back refused to testify, because if anyone from Main Street found out he was working, they'd quickly arrange for his execution. What's more, CS2 Back specifically mentioned that if anyone from Main Street found out, and he just so happened to live right across the street from Stutterbox, who was from Main Street, he'd be in serious trouble. Porky was afraid that if Stutterbox found out, he'd either come kill him, or he'd expose where Porky and his wife were living, putting them both in danger.
So, does it say anywhere in about CS2? Did y'all see anything that said something about a low-level drug dealer about CS2, not CI2, CS2? Anything about a low-level drug dealer, or just this declaration that this confidential source is a Main Street Mafia Crip member? No. In fact, everything in there seems to indicate that he has limited information about who the Main Streets is, how the insides of how they're laundering their money, where their dope is delivered, but he was able to give them a little, limited amount.
You can't give me an AKA. I ain't never been a bat.
It's very out of the ordinary for there to be an oncoming RICO and for so much of it to already be being discussed on social media and on podcasts.
Who was doing that?
When does that happen? You and 600.
Now that Lucy's in custody, Porky's doing everything he can to distance himself. The same guy who was backing every story Lucy told, co-signing all the lies, is now calling him a liar, saying he never believed a word Lucy said. Porky was the one verifying those claims, and now he's acting like he was never involved. In this video, we'll expose how CS2 Back, being Loose Cannon's official handler, has been the Porky puppet master, pulling Lucy's strings from the very beginning. This is deeper than YouTube content. This is about handlers, the feds, and how the streets are waking up to who's really who. For anybody who still questions whether Porky the Porch Monkey Puppet Master is working for the feds or not, I want you to listen to what he said a while ago about Vlad TV.
Man, you better let you know that Vlad, look, bro, I told y'all the other day, Vlad was working with the police the whole time. Vlad was working with the police the whole time.
Yeah, you did say
The
that.
whole time he was working with the police on the internet. Certain questions he was asking was direction from them. Certain questions he was asking was direction from them. The whole time he was paying us to come in there so he can do that. But they bit, they went for it. Now, if we continue, even like Lil Bootsy, to go over there with that who don't look like us, to go over there with that who don't look like us, he just showed his head. He cooperating with the law, motherfuckers. He cooperating with the law, motherfuckers. Right? And that's on y'all. That's what that is.
Did y'all catch that? Because Porky just said a lot in that little rant he just went on. He just said that DJ Vlad is working with the feds, and that they're feeding Vlad specific questions to ask his guests. He also claimed Vlad is paying certain celebrities to come on his platform, just so he can ask them the questions that the feds want answers to. Then he called out Lil Boozy by name. Porky said if Boozy keeps doing interviews with a guy who doesn't look like us, then he's showing his hand, basically saying that Boozy and anyone else doing Vlad interviews are cooperating. So now that we know how Porky really sees Vlad, and the people who look like us that sit down with him, let's take a listen to just one of the many statements he made on Vlad, who Porky again said was the feds.
After the murder, when Quando went back to Georgia, what did he immediately do?
Dropped his flag?
There it goes. What was he claiming?
Roll 60 script.
Where Brick Baby from?
Roll 60 script.
What you think the police told Quando?
That the Roll 60s set him up?
Who you think he checked in with?
Roll 60s?
With who?
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
I'm
not going to say
listen.
it. Yeah.
Listen.
I'm not going to say it.
No, listen.
You just heard Porky sit down with the feds and attempt to implicate Big U in another murder. At this point, I really don't know what else needs to be said.
Okay, I already know the answer to this because I heard you say it on No Jumper, but I know a lot of people be asking, what? And I can repeat what you're gonna say, but I'll ask it. Why did you get in bed or be cool with Luce and bring him on and start exposing them to No Jumper? I know the word is
he had a TV show.
Your enemy is my friend, but go ahead.
He had a TV show coming out.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, I didn't really know a lot of shit of people Luce had dealt with, right? Because remember, you had an issue with him and I didn't know it. I guess he said.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Yeah.
He said some crazy shit about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Reggie Wright. Listen. Let me hear one more thing you talking about me, you fat bitch. And I'm gonna expose your ass. You know the story, what you said, what y'all used to do when y'all was at death row? Yeah, I know. Don't make me expose you and make your fat ass get off that couch, bitch.
I thought you was protecting me. You. Some people would tell me you sicked him on me, but I know better than that.
Reggie might be laughing, but deep down, he knows the truth. And the truth is that Porky is the one behind Luce's attack on him. Porky isn't just some background character. He's Lucy's handler.
Chuck, we all have a handler, bro.
Stop it, Wack.
You do? I got a handler. I'm Luce's handler.
Hey, my handler tried to throw me.
I got a handler. My handler, yo, Chuck. We all got handlers, Chuck. Chuck, we all have a handler, bro.
Stop it, Wack.
You do? I got a handler. I'm Luce's handler. I'm Luce's handler.
Hey, my handler tried to throw me.
I got a handler. My handler, yo, Chuck.
I didn't know that was a handler.
6 months ago, my handler, you ain't noticed, I done bagged up off the app about 50%.
Yeah.
Because my handler said, Wack, contract's about to close, time to start shutting that down. My handler told me that.
Who your handler, R&D,
See,
bro?
a handler ain't gotta be.
Hey, that's the real Bimmy or that's somebody trolling?
What?
That's Bimmy. I already sent him an invite.
Oh, Bimmy, yeah. Bimmy, I told Bimmy to pull up.
Listen, a handler don't gotta be like, you know.
Yo, Bimmy, you gotta accept the invite.
You know, like Luz. Man, if I wasn't in this crazy ear, this would have been on some other.
Man, I do be on the other. You just be stopping me. Man, I do be on the other. You just be stopping me. Man, I do be on the other. You just be stopping me.
Yeah, the handler's a motherfucker that you will listen to because you respect them and you know they got your best interest at heart. Lior has Kevin's best interest at heart, right? I got Lou's best interest at heart. I got Lou's best interest at heart. I got Lou's best interest at heart.
Whatever Porky says, Lucy follows. If Porky tells him to stand down, he does. But that didn't happen this time, because Porky wanted it to happen. He gave the green light. And Lucy's not the only one carrying out Porky's agenda. Porky is also SBGB-TV's handler. And right now, like clockwork, SBGB-TV is out here pushing the same narrative about Reggie, the one Porky's been fueling all along.
Back in the day, Reggie got caught up fucking with a dude named Sid that was working for Suge as a personal assistant. Woo! Hold up. See, I knew Wack got some dirt on Reggie Wright. Reggie Wright liked to fuck with those old boys. Hold up. Reggie Wright was fucking with them boys. Hold up. Or was he in the streets fucking around? We need to know. Because if he was fucking with them boys, he looked like one of those motherfuckers, right?
The pattern's clear. The pork belly puppet master pulls the strings, and his puppet puppies dance.
So I didn't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah.
Because I called him. I said, yo, bro, what's this crazy shit you saying about Reg? He was talking about like one of the security guards told him. See, this is how you know when you thinking this crazy shit. Pez or somebody's uncle talking about they did some sexual shit to you, right? Remember that shit?
Yeah, well, he said it was the Vivian or something, the accountant or bookkeeper or something. And we know we don't have no black folks that work for us. She don't trust black people with his money.
So I think January, he came to me, and it was a manager dude he got. It's a white dude, bro. He just called me the other day. It's a white dude he got. Maceo or Marcio, some shit. But he the one originally called me. He like, yo, Loose Cannon got this show, and can you help him market it? So at this time, Loose has said a bunch of crazy shit about me. Loose has said a bunch of crazy shit about me. Loose has said a bunch of crazy shit about me. But I didn't pay it no attention because I didn't really know him. But I didn't pay it no attention because I didn't really know him. But I didn't pay it no attention because I didn't really know him.
By now, most of y'all should know. If Porky's lips are moving, there's a good chance he's lying. This is exactly what I meant when I said Porky's been doing everything he can to distance himself from the guy he handles. Now he's trying to claim that when Loose was dissing him, they didn't even know each other. That's what he's sitting here saying, with a straight face, like we're all just supposed to forget the past. Porky already admitted that back when Loose was going at him, it was all part of the plan. That Loose was being instructed to diss him, to make it look like they were enemies. So let's roll the clip. Let's hear Porky, in his own words, admit that he was pulling the strings the entire time.
You know why he know the footage exists? You know why Loose Cannon know that the footage I speak of is real?
That's the baby mama?
That's his fucking cousin.
Oh, shit, bro. I'm done. I'm gone. All right, y'all.
You didn't catch when I said, you stupid. Loose been with me the whole time, you dumb, stupid ass. Niggas over there shaking like die knots right now. God.
Loose has been with him the whole time. He made a diss song about Wack. He made a diss song. That was the play to do that.
Come on.
He said, I got about 50 niggas on the street right now.
That motherfucking loyal member underneath him. That's how you do it. You always keep one right there. Like, go at me all the time.
Loose been wanting to come out. I just didn't let him out yet. Loose been wanting to come out. I just didn't let him out yet. I just didn't let him out yet. I just didn't let him out yet.
So Porky just said out of his own mouth that Loose has been with him the entire time. You heard his pet pedophile, Bacon Grease Beast, cheerleading and praising Porky for having Loose with him the whole time. Porky then went on to say that Loose has been wanting to come out, but he himself wouldn't let Loose come out yet. So like I was saying before, Loose does whatever Porky tells him to do, and you guys just heard it with your own ears.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you don't look on the thing, he said all kind of crazy shit about me, but I'm like, and wrote out. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you're riding out for your homie.
Loose Cannon?
That you guys You guys are doing a little bit of shady business together.
Not shady. Might be, you know, me and Loose Cannon been comrades for quite some time. We fooled the streets.
What about those
Did you hear the Loose Cannon diss song on me?
Yeah, and I feel like you're lying when you say that it was all premeditated and planned out.
It was. He told me that's what he wanted to do. I told him to do it. So I'm like, I look at it, and he warned me, he said, Wack is some shit on the internet, but he's really trying to market this show. It's a bag for you. I said, what do you want? He wants you to get him to the platforms. So I brought him to No Jumper. If you notice, him and his wife is there. It's called Bad and the Beast. It's the name of the show.
Okay.
It's out Urban Flicks, right? So I had February, March, April. February to May. February to May was the run. So, you know, they paid me what they paid me. I took him there, and then I seen the academics. I had to trick academics. I told academics I was coming.
You act like you was going. Yeah, I heard you. You told me, yeah.
Yeah, right. I know once he was there in front of him, he was going to run the show.
He going to go ahead and do it. Yeah.
This is when he said the Carl's Winslow shit.
Yeah,
yeah, right. So, in my head, I'm like, listen, I'm here to do a job. Whatever nigga want to say, he can say. You get what I'm saying? Period. I just had told him, I think the only stipulation I put on him was you.
So again, Porky is the one handling Lucy. He just said that he hooked him up with No Jumper and DJ Academics. He also just said that he was able to put stipulations on Lucy also, proving that Lucy does what Porky allows him to do, and if Porky doesn't want him to do something, he'll put stipulations on him.
Yeah.
You was the only one, because I said, Reg, I don't know nothing about it. I'm getting paid to promote this show. But
because you know what I called and asked you, and I got mad at you because I said you was protecting me, because I wanted to know.
I said, Reg, I'm not protecting nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about it. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you this. He won't do that to you again, right?
Yeah.
That shit was said, I guess, prior to, right?
Yeah.
And again, Reg,
well, he was mad because he felt like I called him out for saying that was a lie or a play about what y'all, what he said he had. And I was just saying, and all I said, if it don't come out by that date, then he lied.
That's exactly what happened.
Waiting to see how they gonna cover up February the 14th if this doesn't come out. And if it does come out, whoa. A lot of people credibility is on the line with this.
And Reggie made it clear. He said if Luce didn't drop that video on February 14th, the one where Big U supposedly FaceTimed him and said Nipsey Hussle had been killed 30 minutes before it actually happened, then both Lucy and Porky were lying to everybody. Now fast forward to today, and suddenly Porky's saying Luce was lying the whole time. But let's not forget, back then, Porky was standing right next to him, defending everything he said. He was even acting like he was ready to bet money on Luce's claims.
Okay, but you realize that some very, very serious allegations were made during that interview.
So what?
And a lot of them don't really seem to stand up.
Luke, how you know? You a white boy.
I've seen a lot of evidence to the contrary.
You seen what? What you see?
I
tell you what, Adam. You're a wealthy man. I'll front the 100. You put up 100,000. I have Luce pull up. If he ain't got what he say he got, I'll pay you 100. If he do, you give me 100.
I'm not really trying to be the guy who decides exactly what happened or didn't happen.
Stop trying to discredit something that you can't. But what we can do, hold on, Adam. I'll front the 100 for Luce. If he ain't got it, I'll lose that. If he got what he say he got, you pay. We got a bet?
So at this point, it's clear. By Porky's own admission, he's been Lucy's handler, and they've been working together for a long time. But now that Lucy's behind bars, Pork Belly's out here acting like he barely knows the guy, trying to play innocent, like he wasn't right there in the mix the whole time. The switch-up is nasty work, but the receipts don't lie.
Well, Wack, let me ask you this, because I've been knowing you as this legendary kind of behind-the-scenes figure throughout hip-hop for decades. I'll keep it real, I hadn't really heard much about Loose Cannon until he started hanging around with you.
That's a fact. That's just what's real.
But I knew very little about him until I've read this whole this criminal complaint, and I've become to know how close he was to Big U, knowing your relationship with Big U. Now I'm looking back thinking, how had you and him got so close considering that history?
They didn't become cool until Luce was no longer cool with... But he was...
How are you trusting a guy that was so cool with Big U?
Up until, like, what, 2 years ago?
Nah, 2021, early 2021.
Okay. So CS2 Back and Arian Adam are trying to push the narrative that Porky didn't start messing with Luce until 2021. Even though Porky already told Adam the Aryan that him and Lucy were together way back when Lucy did the diss song. For some reason, Porky is now hell-bent on making the people believe that he didn't start messing with Luce until 2021.
So, at the end of the day, it's like, I realized, like, damn, it's 2023 and you got a BlackBerry. Like they didn't...
How long have I been asking you about that BlackBerry?
Since 2015. Since 2015.
So now Porky's saying he met Lucy in 2021. But that doesn't line up with what he said before. In that No Jumper interview with Lucy just last year, they both admitted they'd knew each other back in 2015, clearly showing they'd been locked in long before 2021. The timeline's off, and Porky knows it. This just proves how long he and Lucy have really been working together.
When I do what I'm supposed to do, everybody witnessed it. Y'all witnessed outside of No Jumper. Did I do what I was supposed to do?
You didn't do anything.
No, bullshit. Oh, bullshit. I stopped some shit.
Wack, when
Did
you
I
lined
not?
Up, when you lined up,
Did I not?
when you lined
I
up,
didn't?
You mean stopped it?
You telling me I didn't stop nothing outside this building?
Unless there was a threat that we didn't see off camera.
Are you telling me out there with this weenie, the PDF file, Jay Reed, y'all telling me I didn't stop nothing?
you could get sued.
No, you're a motherfucking lie. I didn't stop nothing.
You hear Porky yelling, trying to plead his case, saying he stopped Lucy from killing Jay Reed that day at No Jumper. When you run the footage back, the truth comes out. Lucy pulls the gun off his hip, and at the same time, you hear the Porky puppet master himself shouting at Lucy, telling him not to do it. Porky didn't break up anything. He didn't intervene physically, but he did tell Lucy to stand down. And Lucy listened, because Porky is his handler and puppet master. Porky wasn't lying when he said that he told Lucy to stop. But what Porky is conveniently leaving out is he's also the one who told his minion to do it. Showing you again that Lucy does whatever Porky tells him to do, because Porky is his handler.
They got caught, doing it. They try to come up to Wack on some goofy stuff. Wack said, nephew, let's make an example. And that's what we did. Wack said, nephew, let's make an example. And that's what we did. Wack said, nephew, let's make an example. And that's what we did.
Next time I won't stop again.
What'd you stop?
I mean, it happened though.
Would I stop?
They were gonna kill him?
Would I stop?
Oh, Wack saved y'all life. What happened?
Nigga, would I stop? Oh, y'all got amnesia?
Oh,
don't do that. Don't do that. Because it could have been a whole other scene out there.
Adam, don't play dumb.
Are you for real?
I ain't gonna lie, sometimes Adam plays dumb. Hold on, I know, hold on.
Did you watch the video?
I seen the video.
So you're saying they would have killed him if you weren't there?
Listen, bro, you heard it.
They would have gave him a leg us at least.
You heard it.
Let's give him a leg us.
That's what you.
Are you for real? All right, I got you.
Maybe
So
I
Wack
gotta rewatch
stop
it.
the situation.
What? If I went without my voice, that shit was finna go somewhere.
That's all, folks.